Hi, so I wanted to do a video today on, how to cope when you break up with somebody or you're rejected from somebody and what that really means. And I was inspired to do this actually not from my own journey, but just like watching a friend go through something and kind of seeing the things that came up and reminding me of things that came up in my experience as well. So whenever we feel rejected or we're really upset or you feel that like heartbreaking energy, it's not actually about the other person. It's not anything to do with the other person. It's that they're showing you things inside of yourself where you don't love yourself, and you're getting upset and angry at yourself for creating and manifesting this experience into your reality that you didn't consciously want to experience. But your subconscious ran the show and it created this rejection because on some level you're rejecting yourself, or you experience somebody not valuing you or disrespecting you because you didn't value and fully respect yourself. And the problem is that we tend to project these inner feelings onto others, which is why relationships are so helpful. They allow us to see ourselves in another form, so we can actually utilize that form for self-development and self-growth. Otherwise, if it was all just internal and we didn't have that outer projection, we just wouldn't really bother doing any work on ourselves. So everything that you experience in your outer world is because of your internal feelings. So when somebody rejects you or doesn't want you or doesn't make you feel special enough or loved enough or attractive enough or any of these things, they are literally only showing you parts of yourself and how you feel about yourself. But obviously we project that anger because we don't want to face that it's us, and we don't want to actually like take ownership for that. So we project it onto this person. So first of all, it's really important to kind of not react to situations emotionally, because by doing so, we're keeping everything in this outer world. So you've got your inner world and it's projecting outer. And as soon as you start engaging with the outer world, you've kind of lost your connection to your inner. So first things first, it's really important not to react to this external world that's showing up. Sorry, they've just literally started doing building work outside when I started recording. I hope you can still hear me. But if we start reacting and having an emotional response to what's showing up, which is so difficult not to do. I mean, even when you're aware of all this stuff, it's so difficult not to emotionally react and project and say they're an idiot and they're a dick, and like all these kind of things and ways that we blame, or we're a victim, or we always meet people like this. It's very important to take the ownership of that creation and say, I created this experience, and this is where I do my mirror work. So I look at the situations. I'd be like, what am I feeling? Do I feel like not valued enough? Where am I not valuing myself? What can I do to feel more valued? And what do I need to do to feel more valued? And then sometimes I maybe recite affirmations of like, I am fully valued, I fully value myself, and anything that you feel inspired to do. But I think the most important thing is just acknowledging that it was your creation, and acknowledging that you can change that creation at any time you want. And a lot of the time I find anyway that when you evolve through these emotional triggers, you no longer even want that person that you were so desperate for, because actually a big part of the chemistry and connection that you felt to them was actually just your own triggers and your own stuff within yourself that you were seeking in somebody else because you couldn't find it inside of yourself, which is a lot of what like 3D relationships are. They're basically people seeking to find things in themselves through other people rather than in themselves. So say for example you don't feel like happy with your looks and you don't think you're attractive enough physically, then you'll be wanting to meet people that tell you you're beautiful and you're the most beautiful thing that they've ever seen, and they only have eyes for you. But then if you have all those fears kicking away, you'll probably likely meet people that make you feel insecure, because you're trying to use them to validate your looks when it's only you that can be like, I'm good enough, I'm worthy enough, I'm beautiful enough, and that applies to any like core trigger. So really, yeah, the first thing to do is just not emotionally connect to the situation as much as humanly possible. I mean, obviously we're humans, we do, but at least to try and limit it or stop doing it as quickly as possible, and to take ownership that you wanted to experience that on a subconscious level, else you wouldn't have, because you're the creator of your experience. And just as you created something you didn't want to see, you can create something you do want to see. And then this is what I tend to do more than the sort of manifesting stuff, and I really find mirror work important, is to really help you take ownership of that by owning that what you receive through this other person is actually what you give to yourself. And the same is applicable to work. Like if you go to a job and you don't feel you're respected and you feel like you're underpaid, turning that around, where do I not respect myself? And then you start to see that actually you put yourselves in all kinds of situations where you don't feel, where you feel like you should be worth more, but you've gone and worked for this amount, and for whatever reason you've not really internally felt your worth, else you'd be receiving it. So it's just a constant process of doing this, and I know it's really difficult. And the thing is, when you've been out of having any like triggers pop up for a while, it's like, oh, I think I'm through now, I don't find it difficult to do that anymore. And then you get hit. This is kind of what happened to a friend of mine, and she's been doing good for quite a long time now, and then she just got hit by a connection. And I mean, she even deep down subconsciously knew that this person wasn't really suitable, or the person she like really felt was her ultimate, but they still triggered her really, really, really deeply, to the point where she felt so rejected and triggered, because they basically showed her areas of herself where she wasn't truly loving herself, and she'd been seeking that. She'd been seeking, like being passive. I don't even know the right word, but she'd been seeking having that fulfilled by an outer person rather than fulfilling it herself. And that's what all these relationship work or any kind of trigger dynamics are meant to do. They're actually meant to just help us find that deeper and deeper level of self-love within ourselves, till the point we can have the mirror of, that self-love reflected in a beautiful, loving, non-rejecting, non-disrespecting experience. So, yeah, that was today's video, and yeah, bye.